Hello, SLOconf. It's the last day, 2023.
I know. Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Erza, and I'm very excited to welcome you all to our final day.
Hey, this is Kit here, and I'm the other host along with Erza, and we're ready to kick off, I think, an exciting final day. We have actually quite a bit in store today, and some surprises, which we'll get into. But let's start off by, should we thank our sponsors? I think that's probably a good place to start, right? So.
Yeah.
Google Cloud, thank you so much for everything you've done as a SLOfficial sponsor. They had their SLOfficial sponsor hour on Monday. Feels like ages ago. Steve McGee was there. So thanks so much for helping make SLOconf a reality. And thank you to AWS. And we had a really fun sponsor hour with them as well. That was, I think, on Tuesday. Again, also feels like so long ago. But yeah, AWS, thank you for your support of SLOconf. And Influx Data, also SLOfficial sponsor. It's about time. I love their catchphrase, and they had their SLOfficial hour yesterday, and really cool demo. I joined in and saw it as well. I got to sit in on all the SLOconf sponsor hours this week. That was fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
And of course, we have to thank our slow burn sponsors. Thank you for all of your support for SLOconf, making this a reality. And for everybody out there, make sure you go stop by. If you didn't get a chance to join during the slow burn hours, or you haven't been in the Slack, go in the Slack and thank them for helping make SLOconf a reality. And our Slow Steady sponsors as well. Do the same thing. Go say hi, ask them why they're here, ask them what kind of SLO solutions they have, or what they're doing with SLOs, and thank them for this lovely event that we've got going.
Yeah. Thank
okay.
you. So tell me a little bit, Kid, what's been happening this week at the daily stand-ups?
Well, it's funny. I mean, the daily stand-ups, this is our daily routine. Like we were joking about before, we should just keep doing this every day just for fun. But we actually went through a lot of different stuff this week. So Monday we had Brian and Paul, and Brian talked about the state of SLOs and kind of the state of the industry and the survey that we did, 300 IT professionals and what's going on with SLOs. And Paul Nashwati is an analyst at the Enterprise Strategy Group, talked about ensuring business reliability and reputation with SLOs, and talked about customers that he interviewed for that report. Then on Tuesday, we got to talk to Michael Hausenblas, the author of the new book, Cloud Observability in Action. Actually, Erza, you gave away a few copies of that, didn't you?
I did. Yes, we had a few lucky winners. We played a game. There's a person that won. And then we had at the AWS sponsor hour, there were some copies gifted too. So
cool. Yeah, and I think maybe Alex did during trivia too. I think trivia handed some out.
Yes.
Alex Nauda, our CTO at Noble9, he talked about the future of OpenSLO. And then yesterday we had a panel about basically all the services companies that are working with end users and end customers to help adopt SLOs in the enterprise. And I think it was a really good discussion about the fear of showing your reliability data, because I know that's one of the challenges everybody has adopting SLOs is like, oh, if I'm only 89% reliable, are people going to make fun of me? And then here we are today, and we got Piotr is going to join us in a little bit and talk about SLOgpt. So it's exciting. It seems like AI is in the news everywhere. Erza, are you using any AI in your life, or not yet?
Not as much. I will say though, I wish I just graduated last year from my MBA. I wish it was a thing last year, because I see all the kids using it now to make their life easier. So not as much as I should, maybe. But
well, you probably learned it for real. They're going to all be, living on LLM mode for the rest of their life. There you go.
Well, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, and congratulations, by the way, I have to say, good job. All right. So you put together this recap of the week. Tell me what's going on here. Is that you have you got some photos from the events, and what else is on here?
I mean, so much. So one of the, I would say, more different and bigger things that we did this year is the SLOconf local events. And they were all over the place. We were in Poznan, in Tokyo, in Sydney, London, Dublin. I mean, so many places. And in some of the pictures, New York, I know we have a few of the New York attendees in this daily stand-up today. And in some of the pictures, you can see that we had the daily stand-up, sponsor hours, the talks. What else, Kit? So much more.
The games and like all kinds of stuff. I think this year we had something very different than before. And at the end of the stand-up today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the future of SLOconf and what's coming next year. But yeah, this year, I think the big thing, like you said, is getting everybody together in person and all over the world. amazing events, amazing local speakers. And what Dan says, actually, the SLOconf local events were one of the best parts of the virtual conference. Thanks to those who sponsored, yet even more thanks to all those who attended so we could all hobnob. I couldn't agree more. And we'll talk more about kind of where we're going in the future at the end of this talk. We also had a ton of viewership on the video. So there is are these the top talks? What's the story?
Yes, these are the top 3 videos so far.
Well, congratulations, Sally, Andrew, David, and Sergey.
Yes,
that's amazing.
job.
Congratulations.
And besides, I mean, all those videos are great. So I highly suggest everyone to check them out. Besides that, in total, in this just 4 few days, we've gotten over 4,000 views on YouTube, which is amazing. And the watch time is 226 hours. So that's great. People are just consuming the event, enjoying it clearly. So yeah, I'm very proud of that.
Well, and there's so much content to watch. You can't really get it all done in 1 week. And especially if you're doing it, while you work, which is what we expect. So we're not taking the videos down. People can keep watching them and sharing them and hopefully referring to them when they have colleagues asking them, well, how do SLOs work? They can find videos like these that they can share. You can share them within your team, have discussions about it. And I hope that you'll keep doing that. And don't forget, videos from the last 2 years are also online. So there's probably like almost 30 hours of SLO videos, which is, it sounds kind of daunting, maybe more. But yeah, check out the YouTube and definitely keep enjoying it. Even though SLOconf is officially coming to an end, it doesn't have to end here. And you got some more recommendations of videos to watch too, it looks like.
Yes, so here are 4 talks that I really enjoyed. I mean, I liked all the talks, so it's always difficult to select just 4. I wish I could just have everyone in the screen, but great talks. Please check them out, share them in SLOconf general Slack. I know that sometimes we have a shy audience in that Slack, but please keep sharing the talks that you like.
Yeah, it really does help people find interesting things, and it's great to keep the discussion going. We're also not shutting down the Slack, by the way, so if people want to keep talking, they're welcome to.
Yes, please.
All right, so without further ado, Peter Ptak, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Let's see. Hello, Peter.
Hello,
so first
hi.
of all,
hi everyone.
So you're gonna show us SLOgpt. You can give us a little demo.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So first of all, as you're pulling that up, can you tell me what is SLOgpt?
Sure. Okay, so it's a good question because it actually started just as a fun project that we simply took to the next level. And the idea was very simple. We wanted to make the process of creating and understanding SLOs simple, interactive, and frankly, more fun, because it can get complicated. People don't always know what are the next steps, how to proceed with creating SLOs, how should they set their targets, the thresholds, and so on and so forth. So it's just a project that makes complicated things more easy to understand, to play around with. And yeah, the other thing is SLOgpt follows the idea that the screenshot is the universal API. So what does it mean? It means that you don't have to have a Datadog instance or a Prometheus instance or anything, any data source to understand SLOs and to be able to play with SLOs. You imagine if all you needed was a simple screenshot of some chart that you want to interpret as your SLI and that you want to play with to create an SLO. And that's the main idea that I just want to show you. So this is the landing page, but let's create some screenshot, right? So just for the demo, I'm gonna go to my Datadog instance, but this can be anything really. So let me create a screenshot of any metric. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's do it. Datadog. So I just screenshotted this page with this metric, and I'm going back to SLOgpt. And here, this is our prompt screen. It says generate a service level objective from a prompt image, and this is exactly what we're going to do. There are some examples that we can use to play with, but we have a screenshot and we want to use it. So let's do it. So let's do it. And it actually created this SLI. We had this little spike in the metric that this SLOgpt noticed. It noticed that later down the line, the latency, because it was the latency chart, was more stable. And we actually can use this information to play with our threshold, to play with our metric, to play with our targets. So imagine that this spike right here is a regression in our code base, and that we want this regression to burn our budget. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to set some target, for example, 99%, and see how changing the threshold changes my reliability. So for example, if I want to be reliable this amount of percent, so 95%, the threshold can go even here, and I am still reliable. Yes, but when I change my reliability target to a higher value, for example, 99%, a single spike like this burns my whole budget. So for example, this threshold should be right here. Okay, so this was
That's
actually
pretty cool. Yeah.
So this was just a playground. This is my SLI. I'm going to just to remind you, this was our SLI. On the top, I have my reliability burned down. So basically, this is my budget. When it's green, it's good. When it's red, it's bad. And maybe you noticed to the right, there's this little helper tool. And what does it do? It's actually a little chatbot that we created with Vertex AI. This is a new service that Google launched. It's using Palm 2 under the hood. It's a language model that we can utilize to help us create SLOs, to help us understand our SLOs. For example, what I can do with it is to ask him if he could generate me an open SLO YAML for this SLO. It takes a couple of seconds.
I thought you were going to have it write a song for us, but
yeah, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it, kid, for sure.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the target matches. The template is probably some of you may be familiar with OpenSLO spec. If you're not, you can go to our GitHub repository, not our, but the OpenSLO GitHub repository. The template is actually very universal, but yeah, we can use this template. Kit, you asked for a song, so let's just write a song about my SLO.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it takes a couple of seconds. And here it is. My SLO is 99%. I'm always on my game. I never let my customers down. I'm always there to stay. Yeah, there you go. There's this song. Yeah.
Cool. So this is kind of like a toy, or is there something you can do with it that actually fits into a normal workflow?
Yeah, actually, let's get to the practical example, because I use Noble 9. So can you generate me a Noble 9 YAML for this SLO?
So while this is happening, Dan Shoup has a question. So he's asking, why did SLOgpt remove the most important information you need to calculate? The axis, scale, and values. Aren't metrics measurements? Are the metrics not the important here? If so, why? How do you recommend we square that circle of no measurement?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. And the answer is actually, frankly, very simple. We started this project with the idea of retrieving the units and retrieving the actual value of SLI, but found out that in many cases, the chart that users provided were not as good, and we just the engine that we used for text extraction wasn't capable enough of retrieving the units. And down the line in the calculation, the units actually don't matter because it's all relative. And this is actually the part that we as users using SLOgpt have to do is to actually go back to the metric source or our drawing or whatever you used to calculate the screenshot and get the value of the threshold from that image, because this is basically the manual part, that the toil that you have to do.
So you're going to, in the SLOgpt version, you're starting with a screenshot, but what you really want to do, if you can, is build an SLO off the data that was in Datadog that you took the screenshot from. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. And
okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep going with this, and if there's more questions, feel free to keep adding them to the chat. We can talk more about it.
Add questions. Yeah. Please do add questions. Okay. So this is my YAML that I'm going to use. So Noble9 has this tool called SLOkettle. It's like kubectl, but for Noble9 for SLOs. And let's create a YAML for this. I'll call it SLOgpt.yaml. I just copy and pasted it. Before I proceed, I'm just gonna show you the Noble9. I actually have this connection to my Datadog. I have this Datadog direct that I'm going to use. This is what I took the screenshot from. This is my instance. I have this connection in my Noble9 instance, and I'm having this service called Datadog Direct that I'm going to create an SLO for. So let's keep the name very simple, SLOgpt. The project is Datadog Direct. SLOgpt doesn't know our project, doesn't know our service because we don't give him this information.
It's just placeholders to remove.
Yeah, those are just placeholders.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you have a starting point here. You didn't have to create it from scratch, which I think is
exactly. So I'm just simply telling this YAML that this is Datadog Direct. So generated objective, that's fine. The target was 99%, that's fine. He created this for us. And this is the toil that we have to do. So let's say the threshold that I set was 70 milliseconds, because I know that this is the experience that I want to set objective upon. I want to measure this experience of my users. This was the spike, 70 milliseconds. So let's use this as our threshold. And I forgot about changing the project because the project is Datadog Direct. And the only last thing that SLOgpt also doesn't know is what kind of data source was it? Was it Datadog? Was it Prometheus? Was it Grafana? Was it
App Dynamics? Anything, right? Yeah. Exactly. So you have to tell it the query because all it knows about is the screenshot.
Yeah. So let's go back to the query. Let's copy and paste it.
So you just take that straight out of Datadog, the same query you had for the screenshot. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I just copy and pasted this query, and I'm saving this YAML. And I'm using SLOctl or SLOkettle, as you wish, to apply this SLO. Let's see if I haven't forgotten about anything. It says resources were successfully created. So let's check if it's actually correct. I'm going to our grid view to search for this SLO. This is my demo instance. Oh, as we can see, the SLOgpt SLO was actually created. We can see our target. We can see the target was 99%. The threshold value was 70. We know it's milliseconds because we created this SLO. This was our toil during this creation. And
very cool.
Yeah, if we wait a couple of minutes, maybe even seconds, these points would actually appear here. Oh, there you go. We have the first point. There you go.
Awesome. Very nice. And a live demo with AI, but we're going to put SLOgpt to the test now. And we're going to need the audience to help us out a little bit. So we're going to, Peter, you ready to play a game? Do you think SLOgpt is ready to play a game?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. So I've got prepared here the game, page of 3 AM, respond or ignore. I think everybody by now has hopefully seen the rules, but we draw a card. We decide if we're going to ignore or respond. We flip the card to learn the right choice. And I don't think SLOgpt can be on the management track, but that's the idea. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the card, and I've pre-written the prompt for this just because I wanted to make this go smoothly. And I'm going to grab this prompt. Let's play a game. So the first card is 90% disk utilization on DB node 3. Now in the chat, feel free to help us out. Is this respond or ignore? Respond or ignore? Can respond and help us out here. Let's see what it says. Bala says ignore. Everyone, Andrew says ignore. What do you think ChatGPT or SLOgpt is going to say? Ignore, ignore, ignore. Ignore. Disk utilization is not a good indicator of customer impact. You should only respond to alerts that are likely to cause customer impact. Okay, well, to make this a little bit more fun and to show that it's not just us hard coding the questions, we can make SLOgpt try to respond like a character. So hey, you in the webinar chat, if you can tell us which character do you want us to do, or if you have another character, somebody with a a distinct way of talking. Any thoughts on who? Homer? We've got one vote for Homer. Groot. Groot. Everybody wants to see Groot. Okay, so let's try it. Answer like Groot. What will it say? Oh, when I tested this out, it just said I am Groot. I don't know why it's supposed to. Oh well, that's AI for you. All right. Well, the correct answer is ignore. Let's go on to the next card. So let's play a game. Let's see. Well, that is annoying. Okay, let's try another character. Who do you want? Any other characters? Somebody said Homer. Let's do Homer. Okay, so and so, yeah, Groot got smart. Well, seriously, when I tested it this morning, it said I am Groot. Okay. So the next one, 99% CPU utilization on Linux server over the last 10 minutes. I gotta hide this. Respond or ignore. What do you guys think? Respond or ignore? And I'm gonna answer like Homer. Bala says respond. Oh, Winston Churchill. Okay, we'll try Winston Churchill on the next one. Let's see. We got responds. Ignore yellow. Though I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I can't answer that question. I'm not a human, and I don't have the ability to make decisions about whether or not to respond to alerts. I can only provide information about the reliability of your services. Whoa. That doesn't sound like Homer to me, by the way. I haven't seen that answer before. This thing is always surprising us. Okay, well, what's the right answer? This says ignore. If you have meaningful SLOs, you'll find out when this actually causes problems for users. You can investigate in the morning. Did he say doe? He did say doe, or it said doe. Doe. So we got a little bit of Homer in there. Okay, that's kind of fun. All right, last card. P0 ticket opened by customer support. Many customers complaining on Twitter. And we have a character for this one. Should we try answer like Winston Churchill? Let's see what happens. Yeah, he did say doe for. And maybe we'll try it with sarcastic teenager too. I would respond because the P0 ticket is a critical issue. It must be addressed immediately. I would also take the time to investigate the issue and understand why customers are complaining on Twitter. Once I have a better understanding of the issue, I would work with the team to resolve a plan to resolve it. Well, that's kind of boring. Why don't we try sarcastic teenager? You guys are saying on this one, what's the audience vote? Respond or ignore? P0 ticket opened by customer support. Respond or ignore? Greg says ignore. Bala says respond. Andrew says respond, man. Ignore. It's 3 a.m. I'm not going to respond to a P0 ticket. I'm going to back to sleep and let the adults handle it. There you go. There's your sarcastic teenager. It's always going to ignore. All right. The correct answer on that one is respond. Well, SLOgpt didn't do that well on this, Peter. That's okay, though. We'll keep trying to train it. It shows we didn't just feed it the card. So if you want to try SLOgpt, where can people go? Tell us a little bit about it. What, Peter? Any ideas what they could try? We lose
you? You should probably just go to GCP and try Vertex AI by yourself. But if you don't have access to GCP, you can just use SLOgpt because it's powered by Vertex. It uses Palm 2 under the hood. You can ask it all about SLOs, all about reliability. It knows a bit about Noble 9 to be able to generate SLOs for it. And it knows about your target and your current reliability of the SLO you're playing with, so that you can use.
Well, I tried it out this week, as you know, and I've been tweeting about it and things like that. And love to hear what other people, if you give it a shot, give us a tweet, give us feedback. We're trying to figure out how to make it useful. And you saw, and Peter, in your demo, I mean, I saw how it could actually fit into a real workflow here, where you can take a screenshot or an idea and turn it into SL YAML, and pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
demo.
the idea. Yeah, we're probably going to improve it. Yeah, for example, to also support metrics from the screenshot, the metrics units from the screenshot that, like Dan suggested, it could be useful. I agree, it could be useful. We just didn't have actually the time and capabilities to properly test it. And yeah.
Well, and Palm 2 just came out last week, right? So it's been,
Yep.
you pulled this together pretty fast. Any questions for Peter before we move on? He's going to hang out for a little bit. I'm going to move on in the presentation here, but thank you so much, Peter, for the demo and for building something cool and showing it to everybody. It was great.
Yeah, thank you, Kit.
All right.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, so moving on, Urza. So yesterday we had a little vote on Twitter about how to pronounce SLO. And
Yes.
for you in the chat, which way you go, SLO or slow? Is slow allowed?
People are saying
A. Everybody says A. SLO. Well, the results are in on the Twitter vote as well, and there's only a small surprise there. We got hammered by bots, it looks like. That's my theory, because I don't know why so many people picked. Who cares? But I guess SLO is the I think it would be SLA. What would SLA be? Slay? I think it's SLA. SLA, yeah. SLA and slow, sly. Well, we're not very picky about pronunciation here, so we don't really care how you pronounce it. But the idea is to set, reasonable targets for your reliability. Slow definitely plays into more puns, though. How do you say it, Urza?
SLO. You taught me.
See? Okay, good. SLOconf or SLOconf. We can go either way. SLOconf. All right. So I've been getting a lot of questions, and I think we've all been getting a lot of questions about what we're going to do next year for SLOconf. SLOconf 2023 has come to an end, and it's been fun and exciting. This is the third year that we've run this event. And I wanted to reflect before I kind of got into where we're going. I wanted to reflect on where we came from. And as Urza likes to remind me, SLOconf all started with a tweet. I originally said, we'd host SLOCon in the EU, and this Twitter thread turned into what became SLOconf. So back in February of 2021, we put on the event in May of 2021, and it didn't take very long for us to organize something, I think, really special. And I had just had, we were all in the middle of the pandemic. I just had a bad experience at an online conference that was trying to take an in-person conference and turn it into something online. Remember Urza standing around waiting in the virtual booth for hours when nobody's showing up? Yeah.
I do.
And we decided to do something different and to make it more asynchronous, to make it more community focused, to make it all about the people. And we made something different. And what makes SLOconf different to me, and I'd love to hear what people think too. Feel free in the chat or anywhere. Like, what do you think makes it different? And I think number one is we're incredibly focused. We're focused on SLOs. We're not trying to do everything. We're trying to do one thing super, super well. It's focused on learning. We're welcoming to everybody. We do it asynchronously so we can maximize participation around the whole world. This event, you can see it's led by practitioners. We have our sponsors to make sure that we have the financial considerations covered and that we can give you swag and do all of the other fun stuff behind the scenes to make this event happen. But it really is led by practitioners. And if you watch the videos, you see the people who are doing this are talking about their own personal experience, their own ideas, not regurgitating and not shilling for any vendors. We're global, but I think we found a personal feel. And I think this year we've taken even further. And the complexity of keeping these systems up and running, it just keeps getting harder and harder. The body of knowledge that you have to have is continuing to grow. And we can't keep up on all of it alone. And even with AI and things like that, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder. And that's why I think a community is so important. We need to do this together if we're going to really learn how to build software systems that work reliably, that support engineers in their lifestyle and their happiness, and support the businesses. So where does it take us for next year? Well, the first thing is I actually don't know the answer to what we're going to do next year. What I do know is that there's still more to learn, and there's so many people that are trying to do this SLO journey. It's so clear to me that people are continuing, and we're still just at the beginning of adopting SLOs as part of modern reliability practices. And there's so much more we can do together. I also know that we can't build the community alone. We didn't build this community, Urza and I, by just like wishing it into being. We had to work at it, and we needed everybody to help us, all the community organizers, all the speakers, all of the folks that are involved. And it's not just Noble 9 people, it's people across the whole world. This year we listened, and you showed up. We heard that we wanted to have local events. We had people petitioning us for local events, and we made them happen, and in partnership with our community leaders, and people showed up and enjoyed it. And I think we've heard unbelievable feedback about how great those events have been. And the question I would put back to you is, what will your SLOconf 2024 look like? What do you want to have? I've heard so many ideas about, maybe we want to have more distributed events. We want to keep the best parts of being online, but we also know that engagement online isn't the same as being in the same room as people. Maybe we want to fly everybody to one big city. Maybe we want to, have distributed events. We're not sure. I'm gonna be very honest. We're very open-minded about what to do next year. We need to deal with economic reality, with travel reality, with, safety and health and all the other things that affect our decisions about what to do. But we want to put it back to you. I don't have an announcement about what we're doing for SLOconf 24, but instead an invitation. And the invitation is for you to give us feedback, tell us what you want for SLOconf 2024. This survey is our end of event survey. We do this every year. If you fill this out, this is your way to claim your swag and confirm that you actually came to SLOconf and participated. We'll send this out in email. We'll share this in Slack, but beyond the swag, which I know is fun, and I actually think this design is pretty cool. And you can actually pronounce it either way, by the way. You can say keep calm and SLO on. Why not? It sounds good, actually. This is part of being, in the communities. You get the t-shirt, and you get to have that, and that's really fun. But also, if you want to help shape the future of SLOconf, you want to be part of it, please take a minute and give us some feedback about what you want to see next year, where you'd like to see it, what level of involvement you'd like to have, and if you can help bring some friends. And this is going to help us decide what we do next year. And we're going to listen to the community closely, and we'll come back with a plan and share with you that I think will meet everybody's needs. So thank you very much for that. And I also wanted to remind everybody about Urza's little side project, which is running our monthly SLOconf meetup, SLOconf Monthly. And I can't even believe all the speakers we've had for SLOconf Monthly. So I don't know how you do it.
No, we are at some brilliant speakers, and I'm always looking for more. It happens every month, so anyone that wants to speak can speak. Sometimes we do 2 speakers, other times we have 1 speaker with a bit longer session. So it's a very kind of like we do SLOconf, a no agenda kind of thing. But please let me know. You can contact me at airs@noble9.com, or I'm in the Slack. Reach out to me if you would like to speak. If you have someone from your team that would like to speak, it's a very easygoing kind of presentation. You can use a presentation you already given, by the way. So it's not, you don't have to come up with something, invent something new for this, although we appreciate that a lot of times. So let me know. I'm looking for speakers for all this summer, basically. So let me know if you have someone in mind. I know. And yeah, let's keep this going.
Thank you, Urza. Yeah, that's really, really important. We also, next week, one of the things that SLOconf is, it's all about learning. And, if you've been, dipping your toes into SLOs, and maybe you're new to it, you're trying to figure out your strategy going forward, how to accelerate it. I wanted to invite you to see Jeremy Cooper next week. I think it's next Wednesday for a live webinar where he's going to deep dive into how to build SLOs and a real implementation where you can take what you learned this week at SLOconf into practice. So I definitely encourage everybody to go to this, invite your boss, invite your friends, and learn about how you can accelerate the SLO adoption with Noble 9. And
the link is in Zoom, by the way.
What's that? And the link is
the
Zoom
link
chat.
is in the chat.
Yeah,
so
perfect. Yeah. And just some additional QR codes in case you didn't get enough QR codes. If you want to join the Slack, you want to join the monthly meetup, you want to join the Twitter, find us on Twitter, and take a photo of these and it'll take you right to where you need to go. And that's it. Oh yeah, but I have one more thing and I'm going to need everybody to help me out here. Thank you so much to the team behind SLOconf. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Urza and Alex Hidalgo, Beata, Dan Curson, Bill Kaus, Powell, and of course, Peter helping us out as well. Thank you so much. This is the team that does not get the appreciation that they deserve. So I want to say thank you to all of you. And somebody raised their hand, I saw. Andrew, did you have something you wanted to say? Oh, maybe your hand went down. Okay. So that's it. SLOconf is 2023 officially in the bag. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you next time. And let's slow.